Hometown Tattoo is once again back in Philadelphia, this time visiting Art Machine Productions, where Amanda was able to sit down and talk apprenticeships and cover-ups with artist and owner Tim Victim Pangburn.
We're speaking to Tim Pangburn, formerly Tim Victim, the owner of Art Machine Productions in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, thank you for coming.
So, first of all, would you like to touch on why you have changed from Tim Victim to going by your regular name, just so your fans and viewers out there know?
Well, Tim Victim was kind of like a leftover thing from being in a hardcore band, and it looked good on paper, and it did good for me for a while, and then I just kind of felt like I outgrew it, and I felt like it had some negative connotations to it.
Fair enough.
So I figured to just be true to myself.
Awesome. How long has Art Machine been open?
This location, I've been here for 6 months now. I was in a private studio, same name, for another year and a half before that.
And how long have you been tattooing?
14 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you start tattooing in Pennsylvania?
No, I started in South Jersey. I grew up in a little town and tattooed in a little shop in the middle of nowhere for about 7 years. And then moved around a little bit and came to Philly about 4 years ago.
Is there a big difference between tattooing in South Jersey and tattooing in Philadelphia?
Philly tattooing is a lot of it's just about respect. You know, it's about respect for the other guys in the city. You know, you don't want to step on people's toes. You know, you want to try to be respectful about the way you do things around here. In Philly, it was a little different. Or I mean, in Jersey, it was a little different than it is in Philly. Like it was kind of like a free-for-all in New Jersey.
Do you think Philadelphia is a tattoo-friendly city?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to go somewhere and see, you know, not see people with tattoos. I mean, you go to bars and the bartenders have sleeves, and it's pretty much everywhere you go now. So I feel good about that.
What makes Art Machine different than other tattoo shops in Philadelphia?
You know, I've never really looked at, you know, Art Machine as being a tattoo shop. It's like, yes, I tattoo, and this is where I do my tattoos, but I've always looked at it, I mean, the gallery is a very important part of it. That was part of my entire thing with it, is being able to do art shows and bring artists of other mediums in to be able to show their work, have a place where people can do artwork other than just tattooing, and a place that I could, you know, help all these things, you know, promote charity events and stuff like that. So it's just happens that I tattoo.
Did you do an apprenticeship?
Yeah, I apprenticed for about a year and a half. A lot of scrubbing floors, making needles, and being, you know, degraded. All the stuff that makes you respected.
Could you delve a little deeper into the apprenticeship for the viewers who don't know all that goes into being a tattoo apprentice?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, aside from learning, you know, what you can and can't do, and learning technical aspects and learning the cleanliness of things, a lot of being an apprentice is learning that, you know, you have to learn humility. So you have to learn that you don't know everything, and, you know, you might be a good artist, but you don't know how to draw tattoos. And a lot of it's kind of breaking your will in a certain way. It's like they break you down and build you back up. And really, a proper apprenticeship gives you, you know, the proper respect for the business. Sometimes I've seen it happen, like, quite a few times where people kind of, you know, they take it easy on the apprentices, and then when the apprentice gets out of the apprenticeship, they have bad attitudes, or, you know, it's really, I think a hard apprenticeship is necessary to make you appreciate what you're getting. There's always going to be egos, and I understand that, and you have to have like a certain air of confidence about, you know, your work and what you do, but there's a lot of people that think they're, I don't know, they're not reinventing the wheel. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that just have a bad attitude toward other tattooers and a bad attitude toward their clients, and everybody thinks they're rock stars. And I mean, as good as all these TV shows have been, they've really increased exposure and you know, made tattoos and tattooing more acceptable in the public eye. And at the same time, there's been like a bad part that goes with it too. Now it's like everybody wants to do tattoos, and you know, it's not this glamorous rock star thing that so many people think it is. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of young tattooers that do think it's like that. You know, people coming into it thinking that it's like just this party thing, and they're, you know, it's going to be so cool. And I don't know. I'm very humble about my work, because you know, I don't feel like this is something where, you know, I'm doing what I want. I come in here and I work like this, and this is what I do. During my apprenticeship, I was taught that, you know, this is a service industry. Like, you're here to do something for somebody. You should be able to do what people want you to do. So, I mean, that's also why, you know, my portfolio is like very diverse, and I'm doing a lot of different styles. It's because, you know, someone walks in the door, I want to be able to take care of them.
So do you have an apprentice right now?
Yeah, I just took on an apprentice just recently. Kid's been coming around for months and months and months on like a daily basis, and basically like doing everything around here, cleaning everything up and running all our errands, and it did not ask me once for an apprenticeship until a few weeks ago. And I was like, well, he kind of already proved that he's here to work. So, I mean, it's been I get asked a lot, you know, if I'm gonna, hey, how do I go back in an apprenticeship? I'm like, you don't. I'm not giving anybody an apprenticeship. It was like, it's kind of like this thing, like, if you're going to ask me for an apprenticeship, I'm not going to give you one.
Yeah.
You know?
So, if somebody was coming into Art Machine to get their very first tattoo ever, what would you suggest that they know before stepping into the shop?
What they want? I mean, at least like a loose idea. I mean, we all are custom, and we pretty much work by appointment. I mean, we take walk-ins if we have time, but we all work, you know, we draw everything custom. So best thing it would be to come in and just know what you want. You don't even need to know who you want to do it. I mean, as long as you know what you want, we can take over and kind of steer you in the right direction. Well, how about so-and-so? He does this. If somebody comes in and is like, I want a Japanese back piece, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I could, but I'm going to point him straight to rest because he's way better at it than me, you know? So that's about the only requirement. Because, I mean, anybody that comes in here, they're going to see that, you know, we're not, for one, we're not a bunch of egotistical maniacs. And for two, we just want to do good tattoos on people. So come in with an idea, we'll take care of it from there, you know?
Now, is there a specific style that you like to tattoo?
If you tell me just to draw something out of my head, like if you gave me a subject and I was just like, oh, draw whatever, then it's going to come out like more new school than anything. I kind of came in the, you know, I started tattooing in '98. So, you know, that was like right in the middle of like new school being so cool, and, you know, big thick lines and bright colors and everything. And I also came in through like before I started tattooing, I wanted to draw comic books. So I had a lot of that animated, you know, illustrative style going on with the way I drew anyway. That, and just recently I realized like two of my biggest influences on my art were Ren and Stimpy and you know Bill Plimpton?
Yes.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy and Bill Plimpton.
What do you think constitutes a solid tattoo?
Clean line work, even shading, solid color, and readability. I think it doesn't have to be a complex tattoo. You know, as long as you know what it is and it's done well. Like, I mean, that's why traditional tattooing is still always going to have a solid place in tattooing, because I mean that's all it is. It's just about having a well done tattoo. It's simple, and because it's so simple, it makes it so hard too. Actually doing a traditional tattoo, it took me years. I mean, coming in tattooing and like doing new school, and you know, all the guys I worked with were doing new school. Nobody did traditional at the shop I learned in. I wasn't able to figure it out at all until a couple of years ago. So it was with the people telling me what to do after a while. But that's a solid tattoo. A good traditional tattoo is just clean line work, even shading, solid color. That's it.
Now, you're kind of known around town for being the cover-up specialist. Now, could you explain to the viewers what has to go into covering up a tattoo?
Well, the first thing is, just because something needs to be covered doesn't mean you have to put black over it. Doesn't mean you need to do really dark colors. You can do bright colors. I mean, depending. It's all depending and varies from piece to piece. But you don't necessarily need all these like dark areas. It's more about something that has depth to it. Depth and textures and shading and stuff like that. But it varies from piece to piece. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing is that just because you have a bad tattoo doesn't mean it can't be covered. I've covered a lot of stuff that people were like, oh, I thought I was going to have to get this lasered, or oh, I've had 5 people tell me they can't do anything with it, and I still covered it. I'm not normal though with cover-ups. I think differently. So honestly, the first one I did, I don't think I had any business doing the first difficult cover-up. Mm-hmm. I mean, you always do some cover-ups when you learn how to tattoo and everything. But I think the first really bad one, like major bad tattoo that I covered up, I probably had no business trying. It was like a big black cross, and I covered it up, and it healed up nice, and it worked. And I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And it kind of like got me interested in, continuing with that, because I actually liked it. I know most people hate cover-ups, but I really enjoy them, actually.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us.
Thank you for wanting to talk to me.
Everybody makes mistakes, but it's comforting to know that if your mistake involves an unwanted tattoo, Tim Pangburn at Art Machine Productions in Philadelphia is there to fix it.
I kind of get excited about it. I just like to be working.
Stop it, Joey.
That's monkey impersonation.
You're getting beefy.
That was a good monkey impersonation.